There is so much in what you offered. I love everything that you've put forward in terms of for us to think about when we consider diversity, because you're right. There's a lot of dimensions um, that we need to explore and begin to expand and include in our conversations. And so, as I listened to you speaking, I had two ideas I wanted to lean into. I want to celebrate resilience, and sometimes part of what a resilient move looks like for folks, especially when you're in a I'm going to say in a body that's not dominant culture. So if you're
Yeah.
in holding identities that experience oppression, it is a resilience move to surround yourself with folks who I'm going to say have similar views. So I really celebrate that as a resilience move, because it's kind of it helps us to sustain ourselves for work that's challenging. And I appreciate the need there is in this moment to build our capacity to engage with difference. So you were speaking to the conflict transformation practitioner within me when you talked about our need as humans, as citizens, as community builders, to include an emphasis on building our muscle, building our capacity to lean into conversations that maybe invite different perspectives, different passions and vantage points, because at the end of the day, the common agenda is our community's well-being. And so if we can center that and remind ourselves, even when we're in conversations where perhaps the view is really opposing in terms of what you're passionate about and what you're seeing as a vision, it's
Yes.
just really important that and I really think about innovation as well, right? I felt like that was underpinning what you were talking about, that as we think about a post-pandemic recovery, I feel like for many, we're still living through a pandemic. It's not over for
Yes.
everyone, but as we think about what a post-pandemic recovery is going to look like, we can't afford to leave out people who don't look like us, or who don't move like us, or who don't think like us, who don't see the solution as what our solution is, because it's a solution that wherever we land, everybody has to buy into. And so, yeah.
I mean, I think we are in process of being transformed, and we are doing it with a lot of disparate uh, different people, different thinkers. I think sometimes in the work that many of us do, it's very intellectual. It's very much about cognitive, like how we're thinking cognitively, but it's not also about how we are feeling. How do we feel together? How do we interact with each other? I'm so grateful to all the different wisdom traditions and the work that's been done around compassion and empathy. And Brene Brown always says, the soft skills are not soft, they're actually really, really hard. And that's the reality. Being wise, being compassionate, being empathetic, learning to listen deeply, this is all a way of processing the pain, the trauma, the events that our generations have come before us have gone through. And I think one of the challenges that we have right now also is that we think that, or there's a tendency to think that diversity and equity, inclusion, belonging is about helping some people, uh, lift some people, when the reality is it's about all of us. We are all
Mhm.
diverse, right? We all come from somewhere, just as Europeans also came from somewhere before they went to the North Americas, before they went to the Caribbean, before they were colonizers.
Mhm.
They came out of experiences of war and trauma. Those things were transported, to the modern world. And I think that when we talk about slavery, when we talk about residential schools, when we talk about the traumas that are occurred in other parts of the world, and we're trying to bring together all these people, we have to acknowledge that our traumas have affected one another, and we have to be able to talk about it now in a way that allows us to accept that talking is healing, talking is processing, being in relationship with people who are different, who think different, who look different, who honor different gods, who believe in
Mhm.
different values, is part of the innovation of becoming ourselves.